when I pull my leather jacket out, it's going to be a good show. A little bit of a G fire today. Welcome to today's show. It is Sunday. It is show day. I have multiple liquids here, tonics, juices, and if you were on my stories, you maybe have guessed which type of juices I made. Hello, happy Sunday, happy April. Welcome to April. Oh my God, it's month 4 of this incredible year. March was insane, and I will do another live stream just to recap March. But today, it's going to be a good show. When it builds, when I can feel it build, and when my splenic time zone goes like, push it a little bit, there's something that wants to come through. I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. How is everybody doing? Say hello in the comments if you are joining live. If you're watching the replay, then say hello as well, because I'm watching the comments. If you're watching the show, I'm watching the comments. So hello. I just got off the call with my projector clients. We had this stage. Hello again, Savannah. Exactly. And here's also Allison. And today I have a very special guest on the show. So the next weeks April is dedicated for definitely more conversations, higher conversations about this industry, about leadership, about vision and mission and purpose, and bigger topics than just business, about how do I get my new client? Which offer should I create? Not just this. It's like big conversations that I'm here for. And hello, Sabrina. Hello. So you guys, yeah, I'm very excited for this live as well. So what did you guess which juices I made? Let's start with this. I have a lot to say today, and I'm like, you want me to talk about that? I'm integrating. Hi, Maria. Good to see you. I'm integrating a couple of things from this month, and especially the last 2 days. And just after this call with my projector clients and checking in with my mastermind, I'm like, we just elevated. We just risen. We just upgraded. We cannot go down anymore. And the common topic was the last days exactly around, okay, I'm ready for more. This was an incredible month. How do I hold it? How can I hold more? A lot of people tell me that I have a certain capacity to hold a lot, and I notice that, and I know it. But I also I'm very direct to say I do not believe that a lot of people have what it takes to hold more, even though if they want it. And so this title of this live stream is really, the topic today is about what does it actually take to have really incredible success in a way that doesn't drain you and that really feels good to you. And I don't believe that what I have to say about today, a lot of people will want to hear. Hi, Katarina. So if you're watching this live here, say hello. I see you. I see who's watching. And I would love to say hello. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Let's be social on social media and say hello. So I have a lot to say and a lot of juices. Like, look at this. I made carrot and lemon and the green dream. It's strong. It's strong. It's powerful. And it's exactly that what I'm going to talk about. This capacity to hold more is definitely something where I had to sit with that for a moment. It's like, I don't believe that people are now in these days really willing to go for it and do what it actually takes. Either they don't have what it takes, then it's okay. But I think a lot of people have what it takes to have incredible success. But are they actually willing to go there and do what it takes? Or isn't that this industry that is marketing and image that goes like, oh, you just have to manifest it. And you just, put one post out there, and if nobody buys, then people just quit. And that's not it. That's not how it goes. Like, this is entrepreneurship and building something bigger in your life. It's a life purpose. So expects that to be easy? But I think that there's a lot of misconception out there, and I'm very bold here. I think that hard work is really underrated. Hard work is underrated. Don't you think so? And same with etiquette. The same with saying hello if you join the show. So I have a little bit of heresy today. I gotta check what line is today, what day is actually today. You know, the interesting thing is that people think they watch me and that they don't see them. But this thing here is pretty smart. I can pull down and I see all of your names. So I'm like, okay, then we just don't say hello. That's okay. Let me just check which line day is today, because I feel like something. Hi, Melissa. So good to see you. Like, take everything with a grain of salt today. 4th line day. Yeah. I don't know, because I'm 9 hours ahead, Rocky. Probably I'm already in the 5th line day, because when my body is reacting this way, when I'm speaking this way, with this heresy. Hi, Ulrike. Hi, Christina. When I talk with heresy, when something wants to come out, it's usually a 5th line day. It's usually a 5th line day. A big projection field. I have the transit here. I'm in the future, of course, but projectors are also from the future, isn't it? Yeah. So the show today gonna be 2-part. I have an interview. I have a guest with my dear client and projector, mastermind client, Allison. Let me just check. Let me check the day. And then I want to also talk a little bit about what I think is missing in the most people to really make it in their design. Okay. Okay, let me just show you my chart, of course. Okay. No, it's still a 4th line day, but it's 21. It's gate 21, of course. It's definitely, that's you, yeah. So this is my chart right now. So you get me lit up like a Christmas tree. I'm not sure, but usually my body is Pluto in 5th line. Yeah, but my 60 is complete to the 3. So I can bust through limitations. But where's my Mercury? Mars is in 1, and then we have Mercury in 3. Yeah, Mercury is in gate 3 in the 3rd line. So that's fine. So what I want to talk today is, listen, I do believe that a lot of people felt, hi, hello, good that you are all here, coming in strong. So which one do we take first? Carrot? I said I have a bunch of juices, so it's got to be a good show. It's going to be a good show. Now, what I observed the last month is there are people who say, and then there are people who do. And there are people who want to make money online, and then there are people who are entrepreneurs who have a vision and have a life path and a purpose and a dedication and grit and willingness to do hard things and to face off with their not self and get really honest with themselves. And there are people who just tiptoe a little bit the toe in the water and go like, yeah, okay, and maybe just take that little class or this course or watch that live stream or invest a little bit in mentorship, and then I'm going to try it myself. Because I noticed that when you're really leaning in and when you're really going in and deep and you want to build something bigger, it's the best therapy, because you have to face off with so much not self and so much little child patterns that we all have. And that can sting a little bit. And the ability to face off with yourself and get really radically honest and even sit with the realization that you are the creator of your reality. Meaning the level of excuses that you lean into, or the level of and the willingness to go beyond them and push through it and be bigger than your bullshit, defines the outcome. And it's always been there. But how are we raised, and where is the not self coming up, is looking outside for approval, validation, evidence, excuses to not do it. I do believe that everyone has what it takes. It's in your design to be massively successful. But I also know that everyone has their not self. And it's always you against you. It's always you against the not self. It's always you against the program. It's never you against the bank account, or you against the coaching industry, or you against the algorithm. It's not. It's like, what are you available for? What do you want? How willing are you to really walk your talk? Go in there, or watch from the sidelines? And most people are watching from the sidelines. Whenever I speak to entrepreneurs, there are entrepreneurs and there are coaches who try to get clients online. Like, this is a little thing here, and this is the bigger picture. And I'm for the bigger picture. I always been. And I know, it is not easy. It's the hardest thing I've ever done to build a business when coming from a middle-class family where the dad is the bread earner and there's a corporation in the background, and I was raised very, in more risk awareness and security thinking, like the Germans do. But what I learned with my defined ego is that the willpower and the commitment and the dedication and staying in it, and even if it's uncomfortable, and holding that pose, holding the pose and holding the pose and holding the pose. Like, even in Warrior 2, when your thighs burn like crazy because the teacher counts like slow to 5, and you just go. And I hear my first teacher, Catherine Budick, she said, your breath has to be louder than your mind. And this is so true. It is so true. You got to breathe through that. Got to breathe through that. And it's just you against you. You could go out of the pose and you can straighten your leg a little bit. Yeah, you can cheat a little bit. But will it give you the results? I don't know. You got to choose. Like, this is me now again being your consciousness today about knock knock. Is this really everything that you want? Are you doing what you say you want? Like, is this just like a benchmark? It's always like, I want this. Are you action matching this? And I see so many people saying, I want this. And then a lot of words are matching this. Beautiful words, self-awareness words. And this is the thing. This is usually the thing. I posted yesterday. It's never about the money. It's never about the money. It's never about the circumstances. It's never about anything that the program makes you believe that it's not possible. It's only you and you're trusting your authority. And I tell you, it's going to be now. Yes. My not self is my only limitation. Realized I was still partly blaming, forcing outside of myself. Time to grow up. It's exactly this. Hold on, there was another comment. Paulina said, if the not self shows up, doesn't that mean it's the wrong decision to make, or is that expansion? That's why it triggers the not self. Yeah, I think it's the second thing. So the authority, that's why I say that so many people know their authority, but you're not living it. So many people are not trusting to lean in and say, fuck, my body is guiding me to do that. And the mind goes crazy. And I have so many clients really leaning in and joining my mastermind lately. And they were so courageous to walk with the not self, go like, fuck you, not self. I know this is correct for me. And now within 2 weeks, they have new clients, highest cash month, massive shift in their brand, new creativity, breakthrough in terms of breaking free, like seeing more possibilities to expand their income streams, but all coming from this inner power of trusting themselves and being more themselves and expressing themselves more and doing what they know is correct. The money, the resources, the time, the support, the invitations, the connections, the opportunities, the ideas come when we are correct, when we are in alignment. And so the thing is that Melissa, I'm going to talk about this in a second. The thing is that it is normal to make an investment and then you go like, oh, okay. But you have to bring it back to the authority. Do I know this is correct? Yes, it is. So, okay. Do you have the money? Yes. Okay. You're going to invest. You got to follow through on it. And then the reason why we invest in coaches is that we work through the shit that comes up, because the shit is still there even if you don't invest. So you have the thing, either you make the move, you invest, and then the shit comes up and you clear the shit with a mentor, or you don't make the move, you don't invest, the shit is there and you don't grow. I mean, for me, it is so logical that I go like, okay, what do I want? I want to grow. Okay, so I make the thing. If I want to do a handstand, I got to fall out of the handstand a million times until I have it. That's ego. Of course, the willpower to have it, but your fractal brings you in the people that always complete your chart so that you have more energy, and that is human design. So if you're not fully following through on authority and strategy, this is exactly what I say, holding more. The capacity is to going on in on your strategy and authority. That means facing off uncomfortable conversations with the closest family members. I am celebrating some of my clients who are leading themselves through so much growth potential. And this is usually why people are not growing in their business, is because there is a blockage from upbringing, from the family. What if my parents, see me doing this online? What if my friends see me doing this online? What if my siblings are envious that I made it in their eyes or now more successful than them? These are the blocks that are in there, and we work through these things more than which offer shall I post to get the client and the money. That is secondary. But these hard conversations and self-leadership, instead of letting the not self lead, that's the whole spiel. And I do believe that this is the trip of the mind to want to know more about design and more about gene keys and more about astrology, and having the entire vocabulary about the entire gates and channels. And also, can you tell me, but if you don't make the move, if you don't fully trust yourself in that situation, I say you're lying to yourself. You're still living as the not self with a bunch of human design knowledge. Congratulations. You spend a lot of time, energy, and money on that knowledge and still don't live the life as your true self. Because that's authority. Authority means I make the decisions that are correct for me and I can hold it, that everyone else is fucking mad at me. Because their not self is running a show because they're projecting a lot of stuff onto me. And don't think that as a mentor, the more successful I become, the more in my power I get. Also certain clients or the audience or like people who hire me for what I do and that I do also have not self stuff coming up and projecting their things onto me. I had stuff coming up with my not self. I was projecting onto my mentor, but there's a difference between projection and purging and just accusation, and again bringing it onto the other person and say it's your fault that I feel bad because you have hard boundaries. I'm like, huh? No, I have clear boundaries because I know I'm a non-energy type and I have to set my boundaries. Otherwise, I cannot guide correctly. So when I say I am not engaging, I'm not going out tonight, or not joining that family dinner, and everyone else has a tantrum, can you hold that? I tell you, that's fucking hard. That's the hardest thing. That's really not easy. Is the mastermind called potency? No, these are two different things. Potency is my 6-month mentorship for projectors only. It's and the mastermind is the higher level mentorship for all types. Yeah. So the not self is the energy from outside your body. No. The not self is the conditioned self that you have created a persona while you were educated and upbringing, that you think you have to be. These are patterns that turn into actions. For example, the not self of the projector theme, the type is the fear of not being seen. So because our projector energy is so different, that recognition is important for us. So if someone does not recognize us in the correct way, asking questions, asking about our opinion, really giving us the attention and the time and honoring our energy, because our parents don't know about this. So there's no blaming. You can never, if you understand a little bit about design or even conditioning and programming, you can never blame the other person, because first it's the upbringing. So you as a child don't have any, you don't have a choice. You believe in your parents. You sponge up everything with the brain and the energy, and you think your parents are the ultimate way to live and think and believe. And then it goes further on, the programming in school, where you are trained to follow external authorities. You ask the teacher, you ask the parents, may I have this? Am I allowed to? Am I good enough? You get judged by grades. And so all this is programmed into you, that you look for external validation, that you look for external authority, and you lose to trust your gut, your intuition, your heart, your soul, however you want to call it. In human design, we call it authority. Yeah. So that's the entire point. So they call it shadow work, but it is not the shadow work that this industry is talking. Also, there is shadow, yes. It is the not self, it is the unhealthy, and it is when we then go into understanding what is correct for us, how we are designed, then we repattern and we take different actions. And that's the entire thing. The entire difference is only action. And so what I see with an entire shadow work and whatever your modality is, the action is missing. I believe that in order to fully get to the point to live as your most authentic self, it requires a lot of resilience, the hard work to have hard conversations, but not from defending yourself, not from blaming, to have people in your life that you can fully trust because they are deconditioned, they are not in any patterns of people-pleasing, codependency, external validation. These people have to always bring it back. They should not tell you what to do. So if I'm cool like a cucumber, like an ice queen. When someone asks me about my opinion, I'm giving it back. I'm like, I give external authority. That means I'm not saying what to do. I ask your authority, what would you do if you fully trusted yourself? What feels good in your body? And then you know the answer. But then comes the not self and the fear of, yeah, but how does it work? Or what if other people, what would they say about it? Or, yeah, but that's not possible. I don't know how. I say, okay, you do know how. What would you be doing if you know the how? What would be the next step? And then there's usually the answer. And it's only about trusting that. That's the only thing. And I know that so many are maybe a little bit afraid of me because I'm tough in terms of there is only black and white. It is. And I lead myself in the same way. I'm like, okay, what do I want today? So I got to better get my ass up, or I don't, but then I don't sit there and say, I want this. It's very clear. And this holding more gets more and more around self-leadership. And you got to get better and better at leading yourself through this process of, I know my authority, I follow my authority, I have the not self conversation bullshit coming up, and I just turn around and go la 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 la. I don't listen to you. I don't listen to you. Like, damn bitch. There she is again. But I don't believe in her. And so you turn around and you got to do it. And then when you can hold that, things will change. People show up. People will meet you differently. You know what? All this, I want clients, I want clients, I want clients. I'm like, okay, you want clients, you want to lead clients, you want to lead clients. How are you leading yourself? How hot, how deep, how intense are you lean into that? Okay, let's just talk about it, what it is. Like, I just hosted a 2-day class. And I was observing, like, who leans in, who goes all in and really uses the opportunity to ask me for 48 hours, anything. I opened a chat. There was an access to me like my private clients. And I'm like, it's interesting. And so I say, I do believe that everyone has what it takes, but not everybody is willing to do what it takes. And I am sitting with, okay, I have responsibility. I have responsibility as a leader. I see myself as a leader. So what can I do? This is how I have the conversation with myself. What can I do to empower people to really get over this not self? So I'm going to say I'm not offering 97 euros small containers anymore. Not because I don't like them, not because I would like to support people who maybe don't invest or don't have more resources to invest. But for me, it's not an integrity with what I stand for, which is transformation. So that takes more time. So that was a little experiment when you open an opportunity for someone who had to lead themselves in something. I'm like, that's not it. It does not work. I don't feel successful when I cannot empower even more. So I got to change what I offer. Gate 41, we evolve. It's also third lining a little bit to kind of see what works and what is not working. It was an incredible 2 days, absolutely. But what I do not support is this pattern, and that is a little bit shitty from this industry. Like, oh yeah, just take this class and then, okay, bye, thank you, it was so amazing. And I'm going to go like, okay, that's great. But they're just like 1% out of this entire people who signed up, 1% who take it further. And when you're watching this live stream or when you're watching other people's stuff, there's usually like 1 to 2% who really do something with it. And again, it's just the action that matters that will change something. So I take different action, and my focus is definitely on my mastermind, my longer term containers like potency, and not short term anymore. It's and the pyramid or the space up here around leaders get thinner and thinner, but everybody wants to be a leader. And I'm like, that's great, but I don't think that everybody has the design to lead first. So it would be hard for them to lead. So better get them into their definition to do what they are meant to do. And it's not always leading or leading in the way that this industry is telling us, because depending on your circuitry and your channels, that defines the leadership, and also your motivation that defines the leadership. Totally different. So this entire pressure of I want to lead and then not being able to lead and then having all that not self coming up is one thing. But in general, what I see is, how can we, then the second thing, and that's why I want to bring my client on, is what also requires to hold more is actually, it's not about doing more. It's not about selling more and, showing up more and scaling your offers. It is only about being more yourself. Because what I found is the more I am myself, the more perfect clients I attract that are feeling so light and so self-led and so incredible to guide, that even as a projector, I got asked yesterday, how can you hold that group of over 20 people? I think we were 25 in that, and some projectors were overwhelmed by it. Or when someone comes into the mastermind, like, oh my God, there's so many conversations going on. I'm like, that's the reason why you should be in a mastermind. If you feel overwhelmed by all that, this is leadership. This is focus. This is energetic mastery that you got to learn how to hold more people and guide more people. It's very, very important. So that, what was my point? Oh, being more yourself. So if the more you are yourself, the more matching, not heavy clients you attract, and then you can hold more. Because there is no not self energy of convincing, people pleasing, hyping people up, entertaining people, motivating people, answering all the questions for your clients, because your fullest true self, you're just expressing your definition and you're doing what you can do best. And the more you are living your type, the more you are also naturally doing and empowering and leading and mentoring in the way that you're designed to. And that is actually energetic efficiency. So the thing with us holding more is actually getting rid of everything that is too much of not required. But that also requires other people being in their strategy and authority and understanding this and not looking at the mentor like, will you save me? Fifth lines. Fifth lines want to save everyone else, want to have the answers for everyone, want to fix them. That's not healthy. Or the six lines still trying to explain what they're doing instead of just modeling it. Fourth lines, people pleasing, people fatigue. Fourth lines have a lot of people fatigue. Like if you don't know who's sitting on your table, who are the right people, you have the wrong people on the table, and they're not really bringing something to the table that really benefits your evolution. Like there's so much. What also is required was the last point, and then I bring Ellison on, because that it's going to be an interesting conversation that Ellison and I are going to have. Self-centered and selfishness is essential to live your type. Why? Because it is the only way to fully trust and follow your authority. That you make it more about you than about them. Because when you make it about you and when you live your type correctly and you trust yourself and you're not leaning into people pleasing, codependency, and all that stuff, then you're in your signature. And when you're in your signature, you contribute to the collective and you are way, way more serving your people than when you think about serving others. Big thing. And I'm interested what's going through your mind now? What is going through your mind? I'm just looking at the comments. You can ask me questions if you want. I'm going to bring something up interesting. So last piece, and this is the bridge to my guest today. Having what it takes, the gut to, and the courage to do such live streams like I do. Not saying that you got to do it, but thought leadership. expressing a perspective, an opinion about a fact or a certain situation in this industry or about the world, or like leaders are not afraid to stand for what their opinion is. I don't talk about someone, I don't judge anyone, but I want to say awareness is great, but what do you do with this awareness? And I want to create awareness around something where I say, here's a different perspective. Now, you can do whatever you want with this. This is not my intention. My intention is just create awareness around that maybe the fact of that we have to take radical responsibility for our actions could create different results. Could help, right? And I see too many people sitting there in their excuses and blaming the circumstances, while entrepreneurs, they see the circumstances and they create different circumstances. They create solutions. They say, fuck, it's my responsibility. Of course, I got to find a solution. So let's make it happen. And I'm going to figure it out as long as it takes. So, and then if things don't work, we pivot. We don't quit. We just get other opinions, look at different perspectives, all that. And when it comes to thought leadership and taking a stance and speaking out, I really want to see more people talking about things that you really would love to talk about. But who do you talk about these things that you see, especially projectors? You observe something, generators, you're responding to things. The more you decondition, the more you respond to things where you go like, fuck no, this is not correct. So who are you talking to? Where are your people? Do you have a mentor who you're not just asking questions, how to tell me what to do and whatever, like conversations. I always ask my clients like, okay, tell me what are you manifestors? What makes you angry? What are you triggered? Generators, what makes you frustrated? Where do you feel boxed in? What do you think is limiting you? And projectors, what do you see? What is it that you go like, oh, are they so stupid? Why don't they see it? Like, tell me these things. And I am so pumped to have these conversations in my clients' chats every day, because the content that it raises from there, that is fire. That stands out. And that is actually what makes us ahead of time, especially projectors, because we see things that other people take a little bit longer to get it. That's okay, but we've got to talk about this. It creates recognition for projectors that, hey, this guy has something to say. We better listen. I know people are kind of watching me more than like the ones who are really trusting their authority. Go like, okay, I like your energy. How can I work with you? That's 1% of the 1%, and I get that. And I'm not expecting anything at this point, because I just love to talk about these things. And then you got to do what you got to do with it. But I would be really, really happy to see more people sharing certain opinions, and not everything is so covered in sugar paste. Like online. It's like, can we just talk real talk? Real life experience and real talk. This is what I want. This is leadership, because someone has to say it, right? And a defined ego is very often taking one for the team. When everybody goes like, yeah, but I cannot say this. Why not? Why not? Tell me, what is one thing about this industry where you go like, can we just talk about this? Can you tell me here in the comments? There's so many people now watching me, and I talk all the time. Can you just give me one hint, one buzzword? Where do you go? Or you want my opinion about? So that I'm going to bring on Ellison in a second, and she is my client, a projector, long term. She's in my mastermind, and she has an incredible topic, and she stands out. And she's one of the trailblazers around this topic. And it's hot. It's juicy. It's sexy. It's very exactly what I said. Trailblazing from a projector. And so Manifestation. I give it 2 minutes to bring her on. Okay, manifestation. Good point. Melissa, I don't know what you mean with that. Okay, so I'm gonna bring Alison on because you all are too. Yeah. This is also something where like, let's have a conversation. Let's just get sassy and talk about certain things. And then everybody sits there and doesn't say anything. That's not fun. trailblazers. Allison, where are you? There you go. Hi.
Hi.
Hello, darling.
Hello.
Oh, I love these feather earrings. They're beautiful.
Thanks. My man got them for me.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
So, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Amazing. So good. I'm very excited. So, you are a projector, 6'2", like I am, explaining. And you are, as I said, my client in the stage, in the mastermind, and we're already working for, 4 months together, 5 months now, and your growth is so beautiful to witness. And not just that you're leaning back more and more into your projector power, you're also creating the most incredible, innovative experiences for your audience and your clients. And so I have not the perfect words to describe it, but I want you to introduce yourself and tell my people here what your work is all about, because it is truly different, innovative, and exactly what I was talking about, bringing a new perspective into an industry, an area that needs some disruption, definitely. So what is your purpose and your passion that you guide people in?
Yeah, so my name is Allison Cruz, and I call myself a men's conscious sexuality coach. So,
okay, can we just take a pause? Can you repeat this? Because it's not about human design. It's a men conscious sexuality coach. You're a woman and you're a men conscious sexuality coach. I'm like, this is something new. I'm here for it. It's not like I'm a business coach. Okay, nothing against business coaches, but let's go bigger.
Yeah. So I support men in elevating their sexual consciousness through connecting to their sexuality in a way that they haven't been taught, in our society. So I support men in upgrading their sexual nervous system through holistic tools like breath, sound, energy, mindfulness, and movement. And it is my personal belief that the worlds of spirituality and sexuality are intertwined. And the more we can tap into and feel our original sexual essence as humans, the more enlightened we become. And that's what I support men in doing. I support men in stripping away their programming that they've experienced, like all of us here on Earth. We can't escape this world without being programmed and being conditioned. And so I really target one aspect of, our personality, which is our sexuality. And I support men in reprogramming themselves sexually, and which leads them into experiencing fuller self-expression, fuller authentic sexual identity, and consequently better sex. So, yes.
I love that. So who else loves that? Because it's a hot topic, definitely. And I also think it is a topic that has, because you said, a lot of shame, programming, conditioning, guilt, pressure. Also, the self-image that men have, that is also caused by the self-image that women have about themselves. So it's all intertwined. And I am always so astounded how naturally projectors go into guidance of energy, and that you can see it does not matter. Projectors don't have like a niche, don't need a niche. We are here to guide energy, and this is what you do. And when you do it in your definition, I can totally see that you have a defined G center. So that is all about identity and the higher self and consciousness and direction in life and purpose. And so when men don't know who they truly are and they think they have to perform or be a certain way, they're not living their true self. and they don't find their purpose and their passion and their self-expression and their life direction. And so this is so beautiful. And you said something around a topic that we have been discussing in the call before, which was a specific expression about the pathway. So there's the men, they come to you, they have a certain desire to have a certain experience around sexuality or partnership, relationships, self-expression, confidence as well, like, trusting themselves around sexuality. So their relationship with sexuality is a certain way. And then they want to evolve through it, right? What is it that the pathway that you guide them through so that they live fully self-expressed and with a healthy and very relaxed relationship to sexuality and women and themselves? What is that you're doing? Tell me this.
Yeah, so I begin from the ground up. So I really go in, the first things that I do with any of my clients is I understand their ideas, thoughts, emotions, programming around sexuality first. Like I have to have a good understanding of their lens of perception. So like what did their mom, dad, society teach them about their sexuality? What did their mom, dad, society teach them about female sexuality? Because then that gives me an understanding of how they view the world, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, I have a very specific process that I take them through. It's a very in-depth, like meditative process of where I take them into the body, and we discover like you would call them like not self patterns inside of the body, and I help them form relationships with those parts of themselves to support them in understanding if that thought, idea, or emotion still is true for them, and if they want to upgrade that idea that lives within their, or that belief system that lives within their body, right? So, for example, if a man has a belief that he has to always have an erection all the time when he's having sex in order to feel, like a good lover, then that belief is going to be lived inside of his body somewhere, right? Most of the time it's going to be living in the waist down, somewhere in his cock penis region. And I support him in opening up a dialogue with that part of himself in his body and helping him form compassion and empathy for that part of himself in his body that's just trying to receive love. And as soon as that part of himself receives love, more than likely 9 times out of 10 he's going to experience harder, longer erections because that part of himself just wants love and respect and wants to be honored. So there's a lot of different like variables that go into what I support men, but that's just like in a nutshell. What I do is I take men directly into their body mind and I support them in evolving their relationship with their body and the consciousness that lives within their body. Yeah.
That's so interesting because it is actually, it's a different area, but we all do the same of deprogramming and repatterning and deconditioning, just with different methods. And I want to ask you now, as you have more self-awareness of being a projector and your projector energy and how your aura works with absorbing the other, with seeing the other, with giving the other so much an experience that actually no man, I believe, has ever experienced, to be seen by you in such a way. Because this is what we do as projectors, right? Our aura goes deep into the other. We absorb, we see things that are underneath that conditioning. So what would you say with the experience that you have now with our work together, and how far do you experience being a projector in that work, and also having now improved your skills to work with men by becoming even more integrated in your design, in way you see them, guide them? Like, what is this from your own experience as a mentor?
Yeah, so just trying to like reform the question that I'm trying to hear in what you're asking. So are you asking what, or maybe this is just my interpretation, like how has my maybe coaching improved, learning about my design and learning about my projector aura? Is that what I'm hearing you asking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would say my coaching tenfold has increased drastically because I used to go into coaching sessions like needing my clients to get results, right? Like needing them to experience some kind of transformation within each session in order for me to feel like I'm valuable, right? And what I've really learned is the feeling of leaning back and not having so much, putting so much pressure on myself, because I think our clients can feel that as well. And so there is a lot of like, then like stuffiness, I feel like inside of the container that I'm holding for my client, which doesn't leave room for expansiveness and, you know, for God consciousness to do its thing. And so I let go of control. And so when I show up into my sessions, I'm definitely more leaned back. I don't really have like this agenda anymore. I just allow whatever needs to surface to come bubble up. And I kid you not, I feel better in my sessions and my clients feel better in my sessions because I feel like they're getting the results with me having to even push. I just literally show up.
And guide.
Yeah, and I guide. Yeah, exactly.
You're not coaching anymore. Yeah. This is the thing. Whenever projectors understand what their role is like, I'm not a coach. I'm just guiding, and I naturally recognize when someone's in front of me. So you cannot even prepare for a session because you need that person in front of you first. Anything else is just curated, and then you have the pressure to perform, which is interesting because your client comes to you with the same pressure to perform just in that area, and that doesn't work, right? You cannot solve the problem with the same symptom. So that's why I say no matter which area your expertise is as a projector, you're here to guide. And the more you understand your own energy, how it works with the other, and absorbing them instead of responding and giving them answers, the better your work gets and the more successful you are guiding your clients for their success. That eventually turns out also in more results and more success in your business because you're more living your signature, which is success. So it's a win-win for your client and for yourself. And I want to ask you another question around two things. First, the little bit of a heresy where I said trailblazers, thought leaders, right? You are now looking at an industry which is highly programmed onto performance and pressure and a certain ideal image, what men should be. So what do you think is the main thing that most common symptom or problem that you see in men that they're facing, the challenges that you think needs to shift in an entire industry or an entire field around that topic so that men can really change their own self-perception?
Yeah. So I think, or I know the thing that I wish all men understood about their sexuality is that there's so much depth and richness to their sexuality. And it's not this like this shallow surface level thing, which our society has perpetuated that message. A lot of men receive messages growing up, and it's shifting a little bit, but that their sexuality is dangerous. All they care about is wanting to fuck and have sex. And all their sexuality is how many people they have sex with and how many women they gratify. I mean, speaking heteronormatively, but there's so much more depth and aliveness and electricity and fullness that a man can experience within his sexuality if he decides to look at his shit. You know?
Didn't we just talk about that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
exactly. And in order to do that, and it's no matter which topic you are in business or in feminine topics or in the men topics, it requires a mentor who you can trust. That's it. And a space where you can lean back and where you can feel that you belong, that you're not different. Whether it's us projectors need a space where we feel, oh, okay, I'm not alone. And the men itself, the same. They all have a certain common experience, and you created that space for them with the work that you're doing. And so can you, and I know you have something coming up
Mm-hmm.
for men who want to experience a new relationship with their sexuality, with women and society. What is in a nutshell that space about, and what do these men experience while going through it, and can expect on the other side of that transformation?
Yeah, so I am in the middle of the invitational process for my new 4-week journey. It's called Conscious Cock as Medicine.
Conscious cock. Can we just not don't brush over it, because I love these new words, and it's so refreshing to not have like empowered men or whatever, you know. Conscious cock. Yeah, why
Conscious
not?
cock, yeah. And it's my humble belief that a man who has a conscious cock, right, and I'll just break down what conscious cock means. So personally understanding your perceptions, your programming around sexuality, and deciding whether that programming fits for who your sexual essence is now as a man. So this 4-week program is a sexual evolution journey for men. Love all these little wet emojis that I'm seeing.
Yes,
And
this is Stella. Stella is a manifester, and she is an emotional authority, and she has a lot of sexual definition, and so like, yeah, bring it on.
I love it. So this is just really a 4-week sexual evolution journey that I take them from the ground up. So we look at their sexual programming, and then they decide through various meditations and practices that I give them within the program, whether that programming, that conditioning fits with their elevated consciousness in which they want to experience. So elevated consciousness is like understanding that enlightenment can come through our connection with our sexuality. So yeah. I really support men in deeply connecting to their body and coming home to their original sexual essence so that they can experience their true authentic power, their true authentic sexual identity, and can feel more self-expressed in this world. And it's just my greatest joy to be able to support men in experiencing, their innate sexual power, whatever that means for them. Yeah.
I can see that. I can feel that, how much you glow when you talk about these topics, and these men will be so amazingly guided through it. And it's very strong focus on consciousness and spirituality and sexuality, but also there's a very practical, real life change of their identity and their life. So what is the identity shift that you observe in men when they come to you and then when they leave? Like, what does change in their life really tangibly? They feel that inside the consciousness, it's not tangible, but this is what is required. But what is like a real life experience, an example where you see, yeah, this is now the man that leaves that 4 weeks container?
Yeah. So the results that my clients experience that are tangible are number one, feeling more confident. Like I just finished a container with a client of mine who built the courage and confidence through building a deep connection to his sexuality and his body and his cock. He bought a one-way plane ticket to Vietnam. So he's moving to Vietnam and he's going to experience life in another country. He also feels super confident in holding the feminine and creating a container for the feminine and inviting a woman into that container because he feels more confident in his sex skills, right? Like he feels super confident in striking up a conversation with a woman and being okay with freaking rejection. Rejection sucks, but it's yes, but rejection is protection, right? It just means it's not the right opportunity. And so that's what men can expect to experience, just higher levels of confidence to go after what you actually want and desire.
And then they're the ultimate creator of their lives, because this is what they want, right? And not limit their life experience based on one main blockage that they have from the upbringing. So this is not just a space of 4-week transformation to cure a symptom or a block around sexuality. This is really life changing for them, and they become the ultimate, regain the power of their life and creator. And that is the beauty, right? This is the beauty. And I want also to share with my audience that, you know, we are not working on these things because you're the expert, but I help you to become better in understanding your energy and how to work with that, to hold space for your clients. And so the clients I have, like you, are not always business owner, like business coaches or in business. Rather, now it's really about any life purpose, any experience that you have in your design, and getting better at understanding your type and your design, and then everything else you do, you're the expert in it anyways. So that was important for me to also to emphasize that human design is such a beautiful tool to understand ourselves better and trusting ourselves in whatever we feel guided to do. And especially then, this is my gift with my defined ego, to say, okay, you do it in your way. And so that would be the last question where I want to ask you. You are now and I love that, in the invitation process. So it is a launch, business-wise, it's a launch, but I love even more the invitation process. So men who are watching this, you can connect with Alison and ask about the details and the application conversation, if that is something that would benefit your journey with her. So go and message her. And for me, I would love to hear your experience now as a projector when it comes to now the business aspect of, okay, I have this incredible work, the gift that I want to bring to men. You are also unlearning to have pressure when you're selling, when you bring these, like we did a lot of work around launching, even deconditioning around the pressure that came up with this idea, oh my God, and there's an open and closed card, and then there's whatever I need to do. What do you think is the one thing that changed in our work, how you're now approaching this invitation process and the entire concept of selling now with this, because there are already people involved and you did not even announce it, right? What changed for you the last weeks?
Yeah, really understanding, and this started like when I started learning about the centers of my human design, feeling the pulse from my root. Like I have a defined root, and understanding that is when it's go time to open the invitational container for people to come in, and to create content from that space, and not to push, and to not let the pressure come from my mind, because I have an open head and ajna, but like understanding what that actually feels like in my body, and trusting that pulse, and knowing that it's going to come back. Like if it goes away, it's going to come back. This
is really interesting, because I have an undefined root, but I'm very sensitive if someone is in root overdrive. You know, I feel that if someone is pushing, and always with productivity and the pressure and the adrenaline, for me in my body, it's like, oh, go away, right? It's too much. I literally feel uncomfortable. And for you, it is interesting to feel, oh, you're splenic authority, but the splenic authority is just the decision maker. Yes or no? Is this healthy? Is this not healthy? Am I thriving when I do this or not? But the energy motor, the root, needs to give a go. Oh, we have energy now. So the root says, okay, where do you want me to canalize this, like to funnel this, right? And then the spleen goes, okay, this is healthy, we go into this. And then the projector efficiency comes. So when the pulse is on, it's go time, and then you create content, and then you have all these things. And so the biggest thing that you had to learn, and this is now what you bring into your work with the men, is this trusting your body. It is everybody, yeah, just trusting the body. But yes, it is trusting the body and leaning back and opening up and having a relationship with your body, so that even that your cycle got regulated and that you put the pressure off. Yes, and then we did the work around creating recognition, what I was teaching about yesterday, right? Building the brand, like preparing everything for a launch or for an invitation and recognition and calling in those clients. There's a strategy part, but it all is led by your authority and your root. And this is where I say you leading yourself from that trust is exactly what I'm going to recap with this conversation at the beginning. Trusting yourself and your authority is what makes the difference. And being okay with having no pulse on for 1 week and even postponing or shifting into a new timeline. If it's not today, then we don't pressure. And it's the same message, because it would not work if you would push yourself through it and then teach men to not push. That doesn't work, right? Absolutely. So what would be one last thing that you would like to share and give any men here who is watching as a coming home to your own compass? Exactly. It's the own compass. You can call it compass or, heart and soul guidance or whatever it is. What would be one message you want to leave with the men that are watching here, and share with them around your program or in general the work that you have to offer?
Yeah. First and foremost, I love everyone, but I have a really big soft spot for men, just with my personal journey and what I've overcome with my relationship to men. And I just want to let men know that they're capable of so much more depth than what our society has led you to believe, in terms of your relationship with yourself, in terms of your relationship with your body, and in terms of your relationship with your sexuality. There's so much more that your body is capable of experiencing with yourself sexually first, and then hopefully in the future maybe you get to experience that with somebody else that you love and cherish. And there's and something that you say, there's like no shame in the game.
Yeah.
There's no, like, there is this message that I feel like men receive, that it's shameful to reach out for help in this area, that they should know everything when it comes to sex and pleasure. But the reality is that we aren't taught how to experience sex. That's something that we learn through experience. And so why not learn new skills that will support you in reaching elevated states of consciousness? Why not learn new tools that will make you feel potent and powerful? Why not learn new tools that will make you a better lover in the long run? And there's just no shame in reaching out. And if you desire to be a part of this 4-week journey, we start on April 11th. And I'm just going to invite you to send me a DM. There is a link in my bio that you can click, and my handle is at intimacy_with_Allison. Just read through the program details in my bio, and then I'm going to invite you to send me a message if you're interested in joining this 4-week journey. I just want to feel your energy. I want to get to know you before I allow you into the container. So yeah, that's what I would like to say.
This is so beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that is this really life-changing work that you're doing, and especially the relationship. They not only learn tools, they learn to have a relationship with a mentor. And this was always my biggest breakthrough with my clients like you, to really deepen the relationship. And this is what the biggest emphasis is also about. It's not just teaching and showing, it's really having a compassionate, loving, intentional relationship. Yeah, and that's why we do not cater for the masses and have humongous people in the program. It's really one-to-one attention and intention for the other. So I'm very excited for all men who are joining and having this incredible experience with you as an incredible mentor. And as the last question, I would like to ask you, what is it that helped you over the last months in our work together to really see shifts in your business, in your life, whether it's about your design or about the work that we are doing, how I'm guiding you, whatever you want to share as your experience.
Yeah, I am, and I'm learning this more and more the longer that I'm in the container with you, and it's something that I'm teaching as well, is to like not fear intimacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not like I got my own stuff that I have to work through in terms of being intimate with other women and things like that. And something that I'm experiencing with you is your heart, and there's your radical non-judgment. Like, she says it all the time, people, but she actually means it, and I feel it every time that I'm on a phone call with Ginger. There's no judgment. It's just like she just wants to support and guide, and that has been truly healing for me in terms of not experiencing like, oh my gosh, am I going to hop on this call and I'm going to be judged the fuck out of X, Y, and Z. And I don't, in the beginning I did feel that way, but now it's becoming less and less. And that's something that I'm healing within myself and in this container. And that has really supported me a lot in the past 4 months. So
thank you. Thank you for reflecting that back, because this is always what I say, no shame in the game, because we want to just work through it. And I know that a lot of people think, oh, but I'm doing this wrong, I better not talk about it, because then, you know, this, and men have the same experience. So we all have that. And I think that this is the biggest pivot, to open up and open your heart and trusting that it's okay. And I think it is okay to make mistakes. We all are humans, and I'm working on opening up myself as well to that and show that more. And the more I open up, the more my relationship to my clients get better. And it's so beautiful. So I love that so much. And I'm so proud of your work and so celebrating you for it. And as we said, these men will experience an incredible transformation. And I'm very honored that I'm contributing to it a little bit, you know, from the other side of it, to support you, because every mentor needs also support. And so also I'm very proud that you are my client and disrupting this industry. Like that is for me, like, okay, let's go. Let's just create a little bit like ruffle feathers. So this, your, here the feathers are like ruffling feathers, right? This is the symbol. Okay, let's just shake up certain things. Thank you, Stella. You're the best mentor, Ginger. Oh, I love that. My clients currently are so like, we are so happy to see all of you tomorrow in our call. If anyone's interested for mentorship with me, you can also message me. I have a couple of opportunities right open for April. Thank you for being here on the show. There will be another show next Friday with Stella. Stella is coming, the manifestor. So we're going to have another hot conversation about fashion, design, emotions, sexuality, like all the good stuff, not just business, because we're just talking success, you know, we're just going bigger there. And so everybody, happy Sunday. Enjoy your rest of your day. Thank you for being on here. And we're going to talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.